As you've probably gathered from the title, in this video we're going to talk about why CrossFit doesn't give a shit about you or about Black lives. So welcome back everybody to Train Enable. This is where we help struggling gym goers become fit, happy, and confident through custom tailored workouts. And I'd like to start with a disclaimer because I myself have trained in the CrossFit methodology for a number of years. I'm a CrossFit level 1 coach, level 2, and I'm CrossFit Kids certified. And I work at a formerly CrossFit affiliated gym. So the whole point of this video is to outline what CrossFit is, who is CrossFit, and what the happenings of the last about 2 weeks have been, and why I'm a little bit changed on my overall view of the business as a whole. So for those of you who don't know what CrossFit is, it is a methodology that it started as like a revolution within the fitness industry, and it's all centered around functional movement. If you want to learn more about that, I linked their website below. But the CEO is a guy named Greg Glassman. Now we kind of have a little bit of background here. I think everybody's well aware that the George Floyd incident that resulted in his death at the hands of police officers has got the nation up in arms. From the 25th for the next several days, there had been peaceful protests in every single state in the US. And at some point that protest turned into riots. And on Tuesday, June 2nd, the Black Lives Matter initiative had made a movement to post a black square signifying that we are going to pause business, we are going to mute our own voices to give way to black voices. Everybody was looking at CrossFit to see what move they were going to make, and instead of acknowledging that Black Lives Matters and just remaining silent for the day and taking a day off of operations, instead they tried to peddle their new course onto everybody, and that was this past Tuesday. So from Tuesday up until Friday, affiliates were up in arms over this silence. And what resulted after was the owner of a gym called CrossFit Community Fitness now, after they have dropped their affiliation. Her name is Alyssa. She was going back and forth with the CEO of CrossFit, Greg Glassman, and he wrote her a very nasty email. The email reads, "Alyssa, I sincerely believe the quarantine has adversely impacted your mental health. I won't speak for Jeff Kane, but I can tell you that you are delusional in thinking that anyone even for a second thought that you were the conscious of CrossFit. The very notion is cringeworthy. You think you're more virtuous than we are. It's disgusting. Your self-professed brand wizardry has been tolerated, but never actually thoughtful or effective, but certainly manipulative. You're doing your best to brand us as racist, and you know it's bullshit. That makes you a really shitty person. Do you understand that? You've let politics warp you into something that strikes me as wrong to the point of being evil. I'm ashamed of you, Greg." So that was sent on June 5th, so this Friday. After receiving that email, Alyssa went ahead and wrote an entire blog post about it. And I, again, will link that in the description so you can check it out and read it for yourself. Afterwards, CrossFit took to Facebook and made a, in my opinion, weak statement. And it reads as the following. "This is a diverse community. CrossFit brings us together in spite of all the challenges, complexities, and injustices we face as groups and individuals. We have an opportunity to find ways to grow together. We have been and are actively listening on the phone and in person, reading comments and critically thinking and having uncomfortable discussions on injustice, racism, and all forms of hate. Members of this community feel neglected, left out, trapped, and hurt. Some are isolated, angry, and confused, while others are actively seeking ways to affect real change. We see you, we hear you. We are here to continue this conversation and to listen before we speak. This is a space for you to share in constructive conversation, to learn from each other and offer suggestions on what change could look like. Our goal is to allow your voices to be heard, to come together thoughtfully and respectfully for a meaningful exchange of ideas. Please join us. What can we do to better serve the Black community in CrossFit?" So, after they released this statement, on the same day, Glassman takes to Twitter and responds to the Institute for Health Metrics and Evaluations, and again, this will be linked below so you can see it for yourself, that racism is a public health issue. Glassman decided to respond with, "It's Floyd 19, with a little spin on COVID-19. So after making that tweet, the Instagram profile of Morning Chalk Up decided to write an article on that. And again, that's going to be linked below. And following that, even before I decided to get on and record this video, he made another tweet trying to cover up his mess. "Your failed model quarantined us, and now you're going to model a solution to racism. George Floyd's brutal murders sparked riots nationally. Quarantine alone is accompanied in every age and under all political regimes by any undercurrent of suspicion, distrust, and riots. Thanks." So now that we kind of have a chronology of the happenings, here are my thoughts on it if you hadn't already caught in my illusion. A black man who was handcuffed, face down on the ground, surrounded by 4 officers, was murdered by someone kneeling on his neck. And the multi-billion-dollar business CrossFit, who touts inclusivity, couldn't take one day off of daily operations to give way to the voices of Black Lives Matter movement, and instead tried to peddle their new course. Then the CEO goes off and talks to an affiliate owner like she's some subhuman in the most degrading email I've ever seen in my life. Then they realize they made a huge mistake and money was walking out their door, all their affiliates. And then they write a weak-ass statement to cover their asses, still not saying Black Lives Matters. But we're not done yet, folks. Now Glassman takes to Twitter to not only poke fun at the death of a black man at the hands of the police, but also the loss of 100,000 Americans due to the pandemic, all in one fell swoop. They can take on the healthcare system and Coke, but can't say the 3 simple words of Black Lives Matters. How's CrossFit going to take on huge enterprises and an entire system, but can't say those 3 easy words? You think CrossFit gives a shit about you? They give a shit about your money. There are a lot of lanes to support the cause. Using your platform and making a ruckus on social media, protesting in the streets, educating yourselves, voting, having tough conversations with family and friends to stop perpetuating racism, donating silently. I made it a point to not only use the small platform here that I have to voice my frustration and to bring awareness to these happenings, but our government in general is failing us, and we can do and be better. I'm donating to the NAACP Legal and Education Fund to help pass reformation laws, and I encourage you to do the same as well. There's a lot of factors that lead into the decisions of these companies, and we need to start applying pressure to make sure that they understand the repercussions of their actions. I was just sent a text again right before setting the camera up to record that Reebok has now pulled their deal with CrossFit. So it looks like this is the last nail in the coffin. If you are looking to donate to the NAACP, you can find the link below. There's also a memorial WOD that we did on Wednesday if you would like to go back and complete that as well. I'll link it up here. But I hope that you get a better understanding of the series of events, my thoughts on the situation, but I also want you to educate yourself and go through the links in the description and decide for your own on whether you're going to speak up, take action, talk with family, friends, have those uncomfortable decisions, or if you're going to hit the streets and protest. But whatever you do it safely, do it respectfully, and I hope that this video has come across respectful in every possible manner. So thanks for watching. If you found some value in this, please like, comment, subscribe. If you think somebody else needs to see this, please share it with them, and I will see you guys on the next one.